Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidelbo Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Salt, good morning. Babna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, you lot. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show. It's been a bit of a crazy start to the morning. I'll not lie to you, because this idiot, right up until 3 minutes ago, was still fast asleep with Wallace in the bed, which is just there. And she woke up, and I'm just welcoming our guest into the backstage. We've got the gorgeous Amie Crews joining us today, by the way. She's amazing. This one wakes up. Go away. You're horrible. You're a minger. Go away. Fine on his head. Like, have girls, they said. It'll be fun, they said. They'll be love. Raising girls is lovely. It's not. It's horrible. She's like a little feral animal dressed in pink. And Daddy's too. I was just saying to him, apple don't fall far from the tree. So I'm in here. It's like a cloud of green. You think this is a professional studio setup? You are sorely mistaken, you lot. This is nothing but. It's horrific. But yeah, the other intro was fab, but glad the laughter reel is back. Yeah, it's too long. Farting fairies, exactly what they are. Horrid little things they are. She's looking at me like she's shocked. Like she's the shocked one that thinks it's okay to wake people up by actually almost taking a shit on their head. Go away. Horrid little thing you are. Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show. This is our very professional personal development and business show hosted by me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani Wallace. I hope you're okay. Behind the curtain of the Queen Bee. The whole bloody thing is behind the curtain. I'm not being funny. I can't share any more of myself, can I? Flipping it. I hope you're all well. Welcome to Tuesday. I am feeling much brighter this morning. I did have my jab. I'm having to do get away now. Be serious. Can't concentrate. Just started the day with the magic trumpets. There's nothing magical about them. It's just horrible. Go away. She's going to end up pooing herself. Go away. Get out. Stop it. Jesus Christ. Help me. I need help. Get me some help. Oh, God, dogs are in here now. Oh, you lot. If you've tuned in this morning thinking you're getting some exciting fun, you will be getting, actually. We've got, like I said, we've got an incredible guest on this morning. And we are talking happiness and we are talking positivity. I'm trying to see the positive in my 5-year-old daughter, thinking that kind of behaviour is appropriate. You okay, Wallace? He's all right. He's looking a bit green around the gills. I would too if that's the way that I'd been woke up.
Just trying to wash away the pink eye.
Washing away the pink eye. Oh my God. Oh, so yeah, I had my vaccine on Sunday evening about 6 o'clock. I was feeling really ropey yesterday morning. It was all I could do really to do the show, and I had a couple of meetings to do. It was really, really great conversations. I've just taken on. But I have just engaged the services of a new coach for myself, which I'm really, really, really excited about. So that was a conversation that I had yesterday. Really excited about what's to come for IATQB. All the time, I'm looking to make sure that I'm investing in all the right things. In my growth and my development is just as important. If I'm saying to you guys every day, growth and development, then I've got to make sure that I'm growing and developing at the same time. And I've been in this position for the past, I would say maybe 6 months, where I'd had mentors the most phenomenal mentors, by the way. I mean, not least of which Lisa Johnson, whose challenge Race to Recurring Revenue is coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. More on that as the day progresses in the IATQB Hive, because I am going to be partnering with Lisa Johnson. So if you haven't got amongst it already, and you want to know more about the Race to Recurring Revenue, I'm going to be telling you more about that in the next couple of days, and if you want to get involved in that with me, then you can. But I've been very much in a like implementation. I've been very much in learning all the things that I've needed to learn, and then actually making them work within my job. And I think there is a period of that, but I'm at that point now where I know what I need to know from a structural point of view. I now need to do that next level growth. I need to now understand how, as we move from like a hustle sort of model into a not hustle model, that's going to free me up some time and some space, so I can see more of you guys and do more of the things that I love in real life, which is what I'm fingers crossed hoping to do, starting with the Summer Swarm, which is at the end of this month, beginning of July. But yeah, so I've been working on my personal growth and development and looking around for the right mentor to work with. So that happened yesterday. It's really exciting. And also, I don't know if you have seen, but I have a couple of job roles available on the team. Ooh, I hear you say. I get lots of people ask me all the time, are there spaces on your team? And the answer is always like, no. I keep my circle very, very tight on the team, because not that I'm a control freak, but because I do everything. Like everything that you see at the moment is, for the majority, is the stuff that I'm doing, that I'm implementing. Now that can't be sustained as the team and as the business gets bigger and bigger. So there are two roles that I'm looking for. One is directly linked to this show. I have huge plans for the show at Rise Up Show, so it can't be a one-woman band anymore. And also, I told you my commitment and the live after the Big Festoon. Can you believe it's been a year since the Big Festoon? If you don't know what the Big Festoon is, this time last year, the 5th of June last year, I did a huge charity online event whereby I interviewed in a marathon, 12 hours, well, it was actually 13 and a half hours in the end. I interviewed 24 international, global, my glasses are wonky because of my headbands and it's really distracting me. 24 global entrepreneurs and celebrities, as we raised money for Women's Aid and for Gallup, which is the LGBTQ plus domestic abuse charity. But that happened at the time of the whole George Floyd situation occurring, the Black Lives Matter conversations, as is right and proper, happening at that time. And that at the time really made me look at what it was that I was doing within my business. Was I recruiting in a diverse point of view? Was the show being as diverse as we could be? And the answer is we're still not quite getting it right. So, and that's because I can't dedicate as much time as I would like to specifically vetting every single application that comes through. So we are now looking for a production researcher, somebody who specifically with diversity, inclusion, with a real finger on the pulse for what's happening in the business world, both online and offline, and also in the personal development world, to seek incredible guests for the show. So I can really amplify, assist and amplify voices that need assisting and amplifying, but also to get even more exciting, to turn up the quality. Can you mind? My God. To turn up the quality of what it is that I'm bringing to you. We have a phenomenal lineup week in, week out on the show. And I really, really want to be playing to that strength. And that's something that I can't do on my own. So we were looking for a production researcher, somebody to help us source with inclusion and diversity and real quality people in mind as well, with regards to their stories, their backgrounds, what they're bringing to the table, what they're going to bring to our interviews. So I can bring you some really meaty, juicy stuff for you guys to, be thinking on and actioning and also getting involved with as well. What I love about this platform is that we get to raise up as many of you as possible. And that still is at the center of what it is that we do. However, we are still heavily sort of flooded in the sort of the white demographic. And that's something that we've got to get better at. So bringing a member of the team on to have their finger on the pulse, to really give this some proper focus. So if that is something that is interesting to you, if that is something that you think you'd be able to help us with, then please do drop me a DM. It is a part-time role that you'll be needed on a part-time basis quarterly to help us fill up our roster. And there will be other opportunities within that, as well as Danielle Hansen will attest of Pretty Practical, who's my business manager. We've also got the fantastic Anna Fox on the team as well. The way that we like to run the team is to grow from the inside up. So first opportunities, first dibs go to members of the community who want to get involved. We're also looking for a social media manager. We want a social media manager. I say we, I mean me. I want a social media manager to give us some assistance in our growth on Instagram and on LinkedIn as well. Got a couple of conversations off the post this morning, but if that is something that interests you, or you know somebody in the community who'd be brilliant at helping us do that, that would be incredible. I want it to come from us. It's an inside out thing. That's what we want this community to be, helping each other show up, wise up and rise up. And I would love to hear from you if you want to know more. All right, that's announcements from me. Final one is the Summer Swarm is still taking place. If you haven't got, I know Christine Kenny, you've got your ticket. Who else? Karen Dawkins, you've got your ticket. Who else wants to grab themselves an opportunity to work with me on strategy for a full day, either in Glasgow, Manchester, Birmingham, Glastonbury, or London? Give us a shout, because we've still got a couple of places left at those sites. Right, enough. I've kept this incredible human being waiting far too long backstage. I have the pleasure of working with this wonderful human being directly, and the impact that she has both on our clients and the world is just bloody brilliant. Everybody needs a bit of this person in their lives. Please welcome to the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show, the phenomenal Queen of Positivity and Happiness herself, Amie Crews. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I am good. I'm so sorry for how feral my family were behaving.
Do you know what? Everyone needs to begin their day with a bit of laughter and a bit of fun. I'm not saying that's the way to do it, but you certainly gave that to me.
I'm glad, because in here it wasn't as fun. It was embarrassing and it was minging, I think is probably the better way to put it. But here we are in our very professional studio capacity. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show. Again, friend of the show, Amie Crews, who's been on before. You were interviewed by the fabulous Jojo Smith last time.
Yes, that was about 6 months ago. We had a wild old time, and we were feeling a bit festive there. It was around Christmas time, so everything was a bit crazy, but we had an amazing chat. So I'm so delighted to be back again.
I love it. And I'm so pleased that I get to speak to you this morning, because I've had the pleasure of being able to work with you for the past 3-4 months now, as part of the Be More Power 6, which is our little incubator of rock stars who are doing some incredible things. You are definitely, if I could describe you as a rock star doing incredible things, I think I would be underplaying where it is that you're going. Amie, tell us a bit more about what you do.
Oh, thank you. I'm a mindset coach and speaker, and I really focus on helping busy and stressed people. I work with a lot of women. Women seem to be attracted to me, but I'm open to everyone to really find time for themselves in busy lives, right? Because we all have no time. Nobody has, loads of time. We're all busy doing loads of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I help people to find positive and practical ways they can just make their life better step by step, day by day. And we begin with a simple concept of just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. Talk to me about those just 5 minutes. Because, Amie, I don't know if you've noticed, this girl just needs 5 minutes.
Well, 5 minutes isn't very long, is it? Actually, if you sit there and you sit quietly and you look at the timer on your phone or whatever, 5 minutes can feel like a lifetime. But when you're running around after your family, dashing between meetings, rushing around here and there, 5 minutes goes like that, doesn't it? So right. It is about this concept of 5 minutes, because what I realized was that I was not necessarily doing that for myself the whole time. And I had this thing, and this is why this mug is relevant, because at the beginning of the year, I set myself a daily goal, if you like, just a little tick box to say, all I'm going to do is once a day, I'm going to make myself a brew. I'm going to drink it while it's hot. And it's not going to be microwaved 3 times. It's not going to be out kettle boiled. It's not going to be brewed and stewed. It is going to be made drunk. Because if I can't value myself for 5 minutes, like, what am I doing? Like, how can I show up as this coach talking about doing amazing things in your life if I can't just make 5 minutes to have 1 cup at a day? So that was where it started for me.
A hot brew. Now there's a concept. It's but interestingly enough, it's one of the, I think, who was it? I think it was my sister. Either my sister, maybe even Poppy, who'd made me a hot drink. And I still had hold of that hot drink a number of hours later, like halfway through. And she's like, Mum, do you want a new drink? I was like, no, I'll just drink it cold. I'm used to it now. And in that thought, the fact that I'd given myself that little thought that I was just used to not having that drink at its optimal serving temperature, at its optimal serving, like serving suggestion, I'd not given myself enough time just to do that. I mean, I get that. I really get that. And that was a real example. It wasn't a cup of tea, it was a cup of coffee. Yeah. And I was like, I prefer it cold because I'm only used to having coffee cold now.
It's mad, isn't it?
So just 5 minutes. How did you come to this work, Amie? Because you've had, your career has been quite varied, and you've had a lot of time and still in the corporate world and in the business and the personal development coaching space. What brought you to this?
Wow. How long have we got?
We've got like an hour. Like, we're good. We're coaching together in 45.
Yeah, exactly. So I was always interested in people. As a kid, I used to sit there with my best friend and we used to people watch a lot at school. We'd know all the comings and goings. We'd never be in it, but we'd be observers. And so from a really young age, I had this fascination with people and what they did, what made them make those decisions, even though I couldn't really articulate it in that way at that time. Mm-hmm. And then when I kind of left school, things didn't really work out for me in terms of college and stuff. So I went into the world of work and I went into retail and I absolutely loved it. And I got loads of learning opportunities there. And again, I always gravitated towards doing the training, helping people, bringing the new starters in. And I was always that one. But it wasn't until probably about 8 years into my work life that I stumbled into my perfect role, which was a regional training manager in a retail space, opening up brand new training centers. And it was the best thing ever. I was in charge of my own like micro business. I filled the spaces. It was for a large retailer. Yeah. I filled the spaces. I managed it. It was cool. And then basically that's how I came into just this passion for coaching. I didn't really realize it had a name at that point. Right. I was doing it all the time. And so that's how I just sort of stumbled into then learning more. And it was a stumble. It was like, oh, let's just go and find out more. Yeah. And that has been a little bit of my journey so far, really, in that a lot of the things that have come to me haven't been planned or strategized. They've been through sort of chance meetings or things that I've thought, I'm going to say yes to that opportunity. I'm just going to take it and run with it and see how it goes. And that's been exciting. But obviously, recently I've become more planned and organized and stuff like that. But the journey as a coach has been really varied because, like you said, my background in corporate really led me into sort of leadership and management coaching, which I loved because it was about helping people be more effective in their jobs and looking after their people. Yeah. But then I really loved the personal development side of things. And so it's taken me a little while to kind of nail on what I want to do, who I want to work with, and the niche that I operate in, which is about mindset. It's about positivity. It's about bringing more joy to our world, because if we can't have joy in our lives, it's hard, isn't it? So let's bring more of that and make our lives even better.
I love that. And I was having a bit of a laugh and a joke with one of my clients the other day. In fact, it wasn't with one of my clients. I was on a training session. Someone had invited me in to go and speak to one of their groups. And I on my desk, I've got loads of little like trinkets, and these trinkets are like visual anchors. And joy has become even more so one of the focal points of sort of the values under which we run the business and we do everything. Like if it doesn't bring you joy, then you're not getting the most out of it. And I know that your business centers heavily around the positivity, and not faux positivity either, but this positivity. But this is This is one of my favourite things. I'm going to show you. I don't know if have I showed you my little Buddha before?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen it.
Look at it!
Oh, wow.
Look how happy he is! So he sits.
Amazing.
This little guy sits on my. It doesn't do justice. Look at his happy face. So this little guy sits on my deck, like literally in front of me, as a reminder that I need to be welcoming joy in all the time, like actually actively welcoming it in, because it's very easy, I think. And there's a reason why I'm sort of sharing this with you and with you guys watching at home. It's very easy sometimes, even when you work in the joy space, even when you work in the positivity space, that sometimes things can become overwhelming, things can become difficult. How, when those things happen, Amie, do we allow joy still? How do we break? Faux positivity is hard, because you create like a cognitive dissonance. That's really what I'm driving at here. How do we feel the feels and still feel positive about it?
Well, I definitely agree. You know, there's something around using positive language, but actually it's so important to acknowledge where you are. I mean, you'll know that I've been through some ups and downs on my journey working with you, and we had a massive, like, you know, breakthrough was it 3-4 weeks ago now?
Yeah, about 3-4 weeks. Yeah.
You know, and I was struggling because I was like, I'm feeling the feels and I'm letting them flow and it's all good. But I'm in this stage of leveling up now, and the overwhelm was massive.
Yeah.
It was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And one of the things I really noticed was that emotion was bubbling up for me. And I think for me, that was definitely a bit of a build up from the last year of holding my community, looking after, nurturing my family as well, myself, and juggling everything. And actually, I just needed that release.
Yeah.
So it's completely okay not to be positive and happy all the time. And if I'm honest, I struggled with that, because I was like, where's happy Amie gone? Where's
That's me?
I was like, what's going on? I know she's in there still, but we just need to lift this stuff off, because I kind of felt heavy with emotion at that stage. So I let that stuff go in order to let the other feelings that are more who I am and what I'm about to kind of resurface. So I think it's really important not to shut those things down, but actually to notice it, to work through it. And I think for me, that this particular sort of level up, if I'm going to call it that, because that's definitely how it felt, was a much bigger chunk. So I feel like we all have those little ups and downs during the day or during our week. And sometimes it's hormonal, right? And sometimes we're just having a bad day, or something's happened in our external environment that just ticks us off a bit. But this for me was like in it for quite a long time. But now I'm through it. So I think that's the thing, is we have to sort of notice it, give ourselves permission to sit with it to an extent, but not sit with it and
wallow. You're not just like kind of basking in it.
Yeah, but not fight it at the same time, but just be curious and think about what is going on for me here. And I couldn't articulate it immediately. I was like, I don't get what's going on here. I'm just gonna let things out, and then I'm just gonna see what happens, and I'm gonna keep talking about it and sharing. And actually, I did sort of, when I was a bit further through that, I did just write out to my email community and say, guys, look, you know, we all have wobbles, and this is what happened to me. And the amount of messages that I got back saying like, wow, you know, even the positivity queen has wobbles. And I was like, yes, it's real life. You know, this is what it's about. It's not being perfectly positive all the time. It's about, you know, being real, but finding the ways to work through it. So one of the things that I teach a lot for my clients, and I use all the time in my life, are these little simple strategies day to day that when we are in that struggle state, we can call on them. And some of them will work really quickly, and some of them you just need to trust the process and keep going for it. So, you know, one that I know that you use, and loads of people here will be familiar, is gratitude. So just reconnecting to gratitude and like being grateful for what you have in the moment. And even
I had a little cry last night. Like I was sat there and I was like thinking, I just had a really lovely weekend, been able to throw this party at home, and I'm working with you guys, and I was really looking forward to our time together today. And I just thought, God, I'm lucky. How do I get to do all this? I was like, a little cry.
I know, and it's okay, isn't it? Because actually it's about experiencing. And I think when you know you're showing up fully, like for yourself, like you feel it everywhere, don't you? It's in your head, it's in your heart, it's in your gut, it's like the whole thing. And sometimes if we're in a stage of growth or development or exploration, like there are bits that are moving faster than others. So like my head was in a space where it was like moving a bit further than my heart was. And then we switched over and then we're like, right, now the heart's going and my head's got to catch up. So it is a bit of a journey. And there's, the way that I focus on all of those things is, if we get these strategies in place, we get these techniques, the things that work for us, because different things will work for different people. If we get them in place when things are going well and we're ticking along, when we're in those little wobbles, those little deviations, we can call on those strategies and they're easier to use, they're easier to call on, and they work quicker than if you're starting from scratch and you suddenly think, well, what have I got to do here? We just call on them to help us through.
Right, absolutely. And there was something else I wanted to explore with you this morning, because it's I was talking to our Rachel, Rachel and Mitchell, one of our Power Six last night, about like this COVID hangover. This it's been 15 months of uncertainty. It's been 15 months of kind of like holding space. Those of us that do lead communities, those of us that are part of communities, those of us that try to stay afloat, those of us that are, have got kids, those of us that haven't got kids, that want to date and not been able to date, like all of these sorts of things. We've been restricted in lots and lots of ways. And even for those of us like yourself, like myself, whose job is to assist and hold space and be positive and apply and help people apply and teach and do all these things, there's this like tiredness now that I am feeling, and I can see so many others feeling. I know this is something that you help with. Would this go back to like the 5 minutes? Like we've really got to start being more boundaryful.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, is that when you feel far away from where you want to be, or even disconnected with yourself, it can feel like not a small step. It can feel like a leap to get back to where you are.
Yeah.
And I feel like 5 minutes, and most people can make more than that, right? But 5 minutes is about that first step. So I say to people in my community, I say, look, all I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to come into the community 4 times a week for 5 minutes, engage in the conversation, share your stuff, because even if that is all you do, that will make a difference. If you want to do more, that's amazing. If you want to take this stuff and run with it in your own life every day, even better. And we start from there. So it's very much around getting those daily practices in, building the foundations in order to then take the next step in terms of changing habits and all of those things that have an impact on, what we do in our daily life. Because, you've heard it as well. And I'm familiar with it in my friend circle, in my wider circle. The whole experience of the last 15 months has really, it's done loads of different things. It's changed people's perspectives. It's helped people make amazing life changes that they've wanted to do for ages, that suddenly they've said, right, now's my time. But also it's really put a lot of challenge in some other people's lives. And I think it is about, now we're sort of coming through. And I think when we were in that, we were just like paddling. We were just like keep going, do what we need to do to keep roofs over our heads, to keep our friends and family safe or whatever. And now it's like there's this space which people are getting excited about, but now it's like, well, now reality's setting in again, and we've got to kind of give ourselves that permission to come back into that, but allow ourselves that adjustment time to support ourselves.
Because it is a bit scary. Like I went out to the theatre for the first time and it was like a dinner cabaret thing. It was brilliant. Proud Embankment. It was fantastic. If you guys are in the area, go and check it out. But there is a degree of, it felt a bit weird. Like, are we meant to do this? Are we not meant to do it? I mean, they're open, so we're allowed. Are we allowed?
Yeah.
Are we hugging? And like asking. We're going through this time now where we're asking people, is it permission to hug? Like even when you know someone, you don't wholly know unless you've had a proper conversation with them over where they stand on the whole thing. Are they vaccinated? Are they not vaccinated? Like it really does. We're having to ask more of ourselves and each other now more than we ever have, aren't we?
Definitely. And it's also this constant thinking about things, which is what you've just talked about. Like you can't just go with what feels natural anymore. You're like, oh, hang on, I have to check in with myself. And that extra thought and effort, it takes energy, doesn't it? Yep. So exactly as you've described, I went, met a client a few weeks ago now, and we had lunch together, and it was like, okay, I'm going going to the pub, how's it going to be? What's their rules? What's their setup? What happens if I want to go to the toilet? Like, you know, all of these things. And it was like, even though for me, I'm generally very comfortable and confident to go into those spaces, it was like a whole thinking process. What happens if it rains? Have they got umbrellas? You know, it was like all of these things.
Am I warm enough? What if I'm too hot?
So there's a lot of things that are going on for people at the moment. And I think people maybe sometimes we're expecting a lot of ourselves to just kind of come back out. And I think it's about, let's just allow ourselves to breathe into this next step for ourselves. And for some people, that is going back to maybe what was usual life beforehand. For many people, it's not, is it? Like things have changed hugely.
Yeah, absolutely. So at what point do you step in with the work that you do? So because what is beautiful about the work that you do is that your community is really broad. So there's not like one point of pivot or change or whatever, that like people come to you in a state of stability to amplify how it is that they're behaving, or like amplify their success. And then of course people come to you at times of struggle. At what point do you really like getting your sleeves up and working with people in this space?
I love it when people say to me, I'm at the start of my journey. I've never really done personal development, or it's been a long time since I spent time myself and I just don't know where to start. And then I'm a bit of a beacon for them to say, right, here is where we can start. Let's start with thinking about what you want from the next 3, 6, 12 months, life, whatever. And then I guide them to take those early steps. Because one of the things for me was that when I was on my, I suppose, journey into coaching business, and actually the thing that I suppose accelerated that was having my boy. The penny dropped and I was like, wow, my life perspective has changed. I no longer want to be doing this type of work and commuting and working full time and all the rest of it. I want to be doing different things. So that for me was this sort of penny drop, and my kind of identity changed, my focus changed, but I just didn't know where to start. I was like, I need to reconnect to me. I need to think about the steps I take. I need to think about my vision, but it's too overwhelming. Is it even possible? And I step in with that belief to start to shape what is possible in the short term, you know, where we can get to a bit of reality check with love, you know, but actually to let people know they're safe in focusing on their actual dreams, because it is possible. What we want is possible. We just have to find the path to do it. So I really help people with putting those, I suppose, the foundations in place for thinking about what they're already bringing to what they're trying to do next, whether that is leaving work or launching a business, or whether it's just simply to say, I want to give myself the gift of more self-care. But how do I start? Because is it all about bubble baths and candles? And it's like, no, it's all about mindset and habits and energy and resilience and really building those things from the inside. Because when we build them from the inside, they can be applied to so many areas of your life.
Absolutely. And it is just wonderful to see, like, I've seen you build your community and the love that's in there, and you know, the incredible people that you've got in there and the way that you lead them. What's your favorite bit about your community?
Oh my gosh.
I love it because you get so excited about them, because you are amazing at holding that space for them. So it is a wonderful place to be.
I love it. Do you know what? I absolutely just love like connecting with people and helping people find those little moments during the week where they can connect with themselves, and creating those links and nurturing those relationships. Like that really, really lights me up. But also providing those prompts for people to say, you can do this. Let's take the next step together. Let me get you to refocus. You've had a tough week. Well, here's an idea that's going to help you to put that in perspective and move on from there. It's not about forgetting those tough things, because they're all the things that make us grow and learn and change, but to really provide that space for people to express their best self. And actually there's a little bit of, sometimes, you know, especially if we are bundles of joy and positivity, that can be overwhelming for other people maybe in our lives who are not there yet. So my space is about bringing all of those things, but doing it in a way that's meaningful, that isn't just about being happy. Although happiness is obviously an important byproduct, but it's about how we can create those little moments of joy during our week and share them together. And my community is amazing. They're always sharing tips and ideas together.
It's not just like coming from you. It's like a lot like the Hive in that way, where you have people that have made relationships with each other, and then when you start to see people helping each other, and you're standing back thinking, yes, that's it. That's how we do it.
It was amazing. It happened the other evening. So one of the things that I did when I set up my group is I started to put some stronger boundaries in place for myself around social media, because I was like, I don't want to be in it answering every single thing. So that was really good for sort of me and my mental health. But also what it's meant is there's that real space for people to step in and help each other. And I saw it when I logged on a week or so ago, and one of my members had sort of said, I need help with this sort of thing, and 3 or 4 people had jumped in, and I was like, everything that they said is spot on. So it was like so nice to see that happen.
Nice. So what have you got that's coming up that you're excited about? Because I've been, so blessed to be sharing just this like sort of little part of your journey with you, and to see you kind of behind the scenes, and you sort of getting everything prepped for the things that you're doing, the things that are coming up, has been a real, like, I get excited because I know what's coming. But I'd love you to share with everybody, what have you got that's coming up? What things are you excited about that are in the pipeline for you?
Yeah, well, quite a few things. I know we're having our detailed sort of planning later on, so that's cool. So the community's open now, so that's just available, and people can access that for free, which is super cool. But in the pipeline, I've got my Best Life Bootcamp coming up, which is 3 workshops all designed to help you focus on what that life can look like for you. So to take you on that journey of what could be possible. And I feel like now is a great time to be doing that, to really just help people to focus on something for the future. We haven't had anything to look forward to, you know, really, apart from just exiting lockdown. So it's about recalibrating. And so the Best Life Bootcamp is coming up very, very soon. And that will also lead into my program, which is called Focus on Me, which is going to be, well, actually, I've run it 3 times now. So it's all about those foundations for getting you to focus on yourself and putting those building blocks in place. That means that, again, like I said, once you've got those basics in place, you can carry that forward in any area of your life. So that is super, super duper exciting. And yeah, I love it. And I'm also developing a little product in the background. Can I mention that?
Oh, I love an exclusive. Come and tell me about it.
I'm developing a little card deck so you can have a dose of Amie in your pocket, ready for when you need it, which is full of my kind of top rituals, strategies, prompts, and a little selection of affirmations to help you when you're feeling those little moments and you just need a little reconnection. You have a dose of me in your pocket to help you have an even better day. So I'm super excited. I'm working on that now.
Can't wait to get my hands on a set of these. I'm a huge fan of things like, as well, you guys know, if you catch me sometimes late on a Sunday evening in the Hive, like I'm a fan of oracle cards and prompt decks and what have you. Not even from a, well, yes, from a woo point of view, because, you know, I'm quite open to that sort of stuff. But actually, they're great. If you're part of your daily practice is journaling, which I cannot recommend highly enough for you guys watching at home. If you don't do this already, literally just taking that 5 minutes with your hot brew and writing down, just exiting the things that are in your head out onto paper. Sometimes when you look at the paper and the paper's blank, you don't know what you're journaling on, and it's hard to, it feels kind of like writer's block. But having a deck like that can just help you trigger those thoughts. And some of the most amazing ideas, incredible ideas have come when I've sort of sat down and made that time. So to have that as a tool, I cannot wait to support you and get my hands on those cards when they come out. Do we know when that's going to be?
There's been an idea for, I reckon, over a year. It was sort of in my head, and I was like, how do I get this going? What do I actually really want to do? I didn't want to create a whole pack of affirmations. I wanted to have something that was more rounded, that we could pick and mix. And so when the idea finally came to life, I was like, yes, I've nailed it. And I'm so excited. And actually, some of the people in my community have done a little beta test for me on some of the concepts, and the feedback has been amazing. So I'm super excited to launch this.
Do we know, like, approximately when that's going to happen? Or
I'm hoping it's going to be late August, early September.
Because I'm like, shut up and take my money. Like, I want them. I can't wait. And when they do launch, please do come back on the show so we can talk about it. I want to, as soon as you've got those ready, I want my hands on them and I want to give them a go, and then we can talk about it on the show. So I'm dead excited about that. Amie, how do we come and hang out with you? How do we come and find out more about the phenomenal work that you do?
Well, I'm Amie Crews coach on any platform. Facebook is the main place I hang out. I am on Insta, but I'm not as kind of into Insta. So Facebook is basically the best place to find me. The Even Better community is the free community space that I talked about, where I share 4 prompts a week that just take you 5 minutes. So if you guys want to come and check that out, I would love to have you in there. This is such a fantastic community. So yeah.
It is, and I love the name of it as well. Even better. That's not suggesting that anybody that enters the community is in a place of being on the back foot with themselves. You know, you could be in a strong space, you could be in a position of flux. Either way, you're looking to turn that up and help yourself become even better. And I just love it. And I love you, Amie Crews.
Thank you. I love you too. This has been, I've loved this morning. It's been so nice. It's been really cool to chat.
It's been a good way. It's been nice to catch up anyway. It's been nice to catch up. Now we'll see you very, very shortly on our Power 6 call. Amie Crews, everybody do go and find out more about the Even Better community. It is a fabulous place to hang out. And I know we can't get enough of that. So if you're looking for safe spaces, places to work on your personal development, please do go check out the Even Better community. And thank you for being a part of my community, you bunch of bloody belters. So just as a reminder, for those who have seen the post in the IATQB Hive this morning, if you are not in the IATQB Hive, please do come and join us. Just search in the search box IATQB Hive, where we carry on the conversation, where we share our successes and our challenges in there so that we can both celebrate and assist each other if we need to. I need some assistance at the moment in the form of 2 job roles that I have got now. It's officially advertised in the IATQB Hive. I am looking for a production researcher for the show at Wise Up Rise Up Show. So if you are a fan of the show, have your finger on the pulse with regards to personal development and business, and want to come and help us source incredible and diverse guests for the show, I would welcome an opportunity to have a conversation with you. We're also looking for a social media manager who's going to assist us with our journey to our road to 10k followers over on Instagram. Operation Swipe Up is about to turn up as part of all of the things that I'm realizing is that I can't do everything. I can't implement absolutely everything. It is time for the team to expand, and I'm looking for a social media manager to help us do that, both on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Got a couple of conversations lined up today with some of you that have expressed interest already. If you do want to know more, please do drop into my DMs or email Dani@imthequeenbee.co.uk, and we can give you some more information, and we can hook up a little chat with me and the squad to see if you are a good fit, if you want to come and play with us. Thank you so much for joining and supporting the show. The show is about to turn up your all. So very, very excited about expanding the team, specifically within the show environment. Or you should do by now, my commitment to the show and bringing you guys excellent content every single day is right at the top of my list to help us all show up, wise up, and rise up together. If you don't follow me already on the Instagram, please do go and do it right now at the Queen Bee Dani, or on LinkedIn. We're going to be much more present over on there as well, spreading the IATQB word, mission, and message. I cannot believe it has only taken approximately 3 months for everybody to forget the fact that I'm a singer. It is so important that we shout about what it is that we do. A timely reminder for me, especially being a speaking coach and helping you guys speak about what it is that you do. It is insane. So more on the singing front coming up in the not too distant future as well. I can't tell you much more about that just for now, but it is all very exciting. All right, my darlings, have an incredible day. I love you. Go and rip it up this Tuesday. It's a work day today. We're going to get some work done. WERK work. See you later. Tra.